Hello, KidEight, and welcome to the NFT Podcast. So, where are you based, man?
Hi, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm based in the Midlands in England.
I saw your artworks, discovered you on Instagram, and it seems like you are on this business since 14 years, right? You are creating
Yeah, around that time,
designs.
2007. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, man. You are very early in this. And so it seems like you worked a lot in the music industry. But there is one thing that I want to touch immediately with you. So do you think that how much more respect to a pre-NFT world are you gaining since you make your first NFT drops? Because you've got a huge collaboration in your past. I saw you on your profile. But how you feel after 14 years of clients that now you can be free and work for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. The last couple of months since I've been involved in NFTs, I haven't been doing much client work at all. The power that I feel being able to sell my art, but also my vision of what my art is without any client input or changes or notes. It has been life changing for me personally. I can't ever see a way back.
That's amazing. So you're not working to clients anymore. I think in the next year, so just NFT drops and drops and drops.
I mean, I'm doing bits here and there, but I have been collaborating behind the scenes on some client NFTs. But it's just, I think because the space is so new, I'm allowed a bit more freedom than previous jobs working within the music industry. So yeah, I think for the next immediate future, my work will be based around the NFT space, definitely.
That's big. That's big. And so, which are the platforms that you use the most in the NFTs world? You like to use all of them?
So platform-wise, I started on Rarible and made a few sales on there, and then got invited to Foundation. I've had a few sales on there. Recently been approved to Known Origin, which my two Genesis pieces sold. I'm waiting to hear back from Super Rare at the moment. That's the one I'm aiming for. I'd like that to be the base of my new drops, but yeah, just those three mainly.
Great, great. So, man, you developed a character, no? That's called EVOL, if I say it
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And what's his origin? What's the name come from? What's the origin of this EVOL?
So it was sort of a character I've been working with in my personal art for maybe 3 or 4 years. It started as, so the story was I was trying to start as more of a traditional artist. I was doing screen prints and stencils and stuff like that, but I couldn't really break in to the traditional art market because I was based as a digital artist. I was creating screen prints, but I was doing it in digital ways rather than drawing by hand. So Evil started as a character. It was a little cherub, actually. I'll grab you my first. Yeah, so this is pretty much the origin piece of Evil. It's a
Oh,
cherub. At the time, he was called Hate because I don't know. I think I must have been going through something at the time that I was just disillusioned by everything, and like I was just angry. I suppose the origins he comes from a place of anger. So yeah, he started as Hate, and then I was like, let's flip it. He is a cherub, but he's sort of like an anti-cherub. So the love backwards would be evil, evol, and also you've got the play on the word evil. So when that clicked, it sort of the character started to become more of his own entity, and then I started bringing in my influences. So he's got the big like Cuban link chains and the Bally ski mask, and he's just got a bit of swagger about him. And what I like about him is everybody has their own interpretation of him. So some people see him as like this character that's in a world where he doesn't realize he's the butt of the jokes, or he might be the character that people look up to because he's got so much swagger, or do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
one of those things you can interpret however you see. And I like the fact that he he doesn't take himself too seriously, so I can joke around and make little subtle puns or jokes on themes. But he can also be quite a serious character, like in my creation of Evil piece, where I sort of play on the creation of David. That in itself is I think, quite an iconic image. But there are hidden jokes in it. But it is also, it can be seen as like a legitimate piece of art, in my opinion.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. So you didn't want like to show yourself, so you created a character, and that character is evolving over time. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
I suppose that there's loads of me in the character, definitely. Like I say, this was my first visual interview. It's the first time most people will be seeing my face. So the
oh
ski
wow,
mask
that's amazing. So that's the first time
yeah,
on
so the
camera.
ski yeah, so the ski mask
Wow,
is a big part of
proud of
the
that.
anonymity. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, so you look similar, yeah, in some ways, man. Maybe I don't know if you also have like the same tattoos that he has got. I don't know if you're
Yeah, yeah, gang signs, everything. I'm affiliated.
Oh, crazy, crazy. So you talked about hate, anger in the developing of your character. Can you tell me more about your story? So why you started doing art, how you started doing art 14 years ago?
Okay, so I suppose I've been doing art my whole life, really, but I started freelancing about 14 years ago. So, yeah, my gateway into art was as a kid, picking up paint, painting, blah, blah, blah. But I lived in a house at the time where we had a cellar, and my mum used to let me paint on the walls of the cellar with paint because she was quite, she was open to new ideas, say. And then from there, I sort of got the bug for graffiti. So I was really into graffiti from quite an early age, like 11, 12, 13. And from there, it was around the time DeviantArt was a website at the time that I was using a lot of, and there was quite a few graffiti artists that were transitioning into the digital side of stuff. So that's how I got into doing Photoshop. I started trying to like digitize my graffiti pieces and put them on this website called DeviantArt. And from there, I was learning how to do websites at the time. I was like 13. I had a cracked copy of Dreamweaver. So it was like Photoshop, Dreamweaver, Flash. And then once I learned those, I got into the website of stuff. So I was doing websites, MySpace layouts at the time. That was about 2007-ish. And from MySpace, I started making connections with other designers and musicians, hip hop artists, mixtape DJs. And then from there, it was like just a steady progression of mixtapes, singles, albums, and through word of mouth, managed to build some sort of a reputation within the hip hop industry, if you want to put it that way.
Great. That's amazing story, man. And how many pieces of art have you like created until 14 years and who you know your life? Do you think?
Oh man, I don't
A
know.
lot.
Yeah, as far as mixtapes, like from 2007 to 2017, maybe 5,000 mixtape covers
Oh my
for
god.
like rappers, DJ, stuff like that. But yeah, I've been literally working every single day during that period. So multiple pieces of art. But my personal work, I haven't really been. I've been really invested the last 2 years. So I sort of see my personal journey starting the last 2 years. Put it that way.
That's crazy. And are you going like to drop like singular NFTs, or do you think are like you're going like to do collection or like special drops related to collaborations?
I want to do collaborations with other artists because that's something I've never really had the opportunity to do in the past for whatever reason. So I really like working with other creatives. I think that's a good way of sharpening your own skills and just sort of building the community around yourself. As far as like special drops, and I like doing one of ones. I like doing one of ones, and I like trying to build a collector base from that. I'm not against. I don't think I'd ever do an open edition. Like if I got an invitation from Nifty or something, I don't think I'd do that because I don't see the long-term gains for collectors. And also as an artist, if there's too much of you in the market, you're oversaturated, you're overstretched. I don't think there's longevity in that. And I'm seeing NFTs as bringing longevity to my life and my art.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, man. So about collaboration, because you worked a lot in the hip hop world with hip hop artists, which are the collaborations you are most proud of your career?
So my bigger jobs that I've done and the ones that people know me for, I haven't really even had much collaborative one-on-ones with the artist. It's always been through a manager or the label. People seem to know me most probably for the work I've done for Future in the past. So I did
Wow.
his first mixtape, well, not his first mixtape, one of his first mixtape, Astronaut Status. I did Beast Mode with him and Zaytoven. I did the one with him and Gucci Mane as well. I've done some single stuff for him. Yeah, I've done some early stuff for Gucci when he was doing mixtape run with DJ Drama. I've recently done, well, I say recently, about 2 years ago, did Moneybagg Yo's album cover. I think that went gold or platinum. I've done a single and I worked on the deluxe version of Chris Brown's album. Yo Gotti, I did some singles and stuff. Like, I've been lucky enough to have worked with a lot of big artists. I did some mixtapes with Snoop Dogg a couple of years ago. Like I've worked with most people within the industry,
That's crazy,
but
man.
it's never really been. I don't feel it's been on the merit of my art. It's more been who I've been plugged in with at the time. They knew I was reliable. They knew I could get a certain aesthetic off. So that's why they came to me. But now I'm finding I'm being approached by a new set of people who just want me to do my art and want me to create through my vision, which without NFTs, I would never be in this position in such a short amount of time.
That's
I would
crazy.
say.
That's crazy, man. So you worked with the entire industry, it seems like, and it's great now that now people are understanding the power of NFT for you as an artist, and they want you like to work as an independent creator, and they like
Yeah.
you for that. That's amazing. So, man, I took notes of from some stuff here that I'm going to read, and then I'll ask you a question about that. Is so about hip hop and about music. You know, Eminem on Sunday is about to drop his first NFT. And David, in response to the SNL NFT, David Guetta is dropping an NFT to commemorate his iconic Miami Live for United at Home that he made during lockdown, and all the proceeds will be donated to UNICEF and Feed America, that are two charities that David Guetta has been working for some time. ASAP Rocky is dropping his NFTs on a release track, and those people who purchase the NFT will also be entered into a raffle to win one of the vehicles from his Injure and Generation tour, or a studio visit to listen Rocky's upcoming album. That's crazy. And man, why do you think the music industry is so influential in the world? Because we are seeing a lot of this. Always pre-NFTs and NFTs, and we are going to see it after NFTs.
Well, my personal opinion on at least the hip hop industry within NFTs, it's a bit of a hot take, and I'm trying not to get blackballed, but behind the scenes, I think a lot of people are scrambling to try and make something work within the NFT space. So, if successful ones I can think of were the Steve Aoki and Antonio drop, and that worked because it was a 50-50 thing. The artist was championed, and it was, at the end of the day, they're both dope artists. Whereas something like the ASAP Rocky, I think that came yesterday. I'm not fully sure of the details of it, but I know for a fact the creator of the art hasn't been championed. I don't think there's any information about them unless you go deep digging.
Yeah.
So a lot of behind the scenes, I've had a lot of conversations, and hip hop musicians, especially rappers, whatever, are seeing it as a quick cash grab, which there it isn't. It's here to stay. It's adding legitimacy to artists, and there are certain mind frames at work that aren't beneficial to the community and the cause at all. I don't want to call people out, but not everything has to be about the money, in my opinion. And the people that I've had conversations with can't see past the money.
That's great. So why you always worked in the music industry? Why do you think it's so influential for like the world?
Um, I suppose like I said, I just fell into the music industry. I wanted to make covers. That's all I wanted to do. And then through conversations and word of mouth, managed to build relationships with people. So I've sort of, in a way, I was stuck in the music industry because I didn't have a portfolio of anything other than cover art or merch design or logos. So that's why I managed to stay in there for so long. Uh, yeah, I mean, it started through a love of music, but it's like anything. You do anything for long enough, it's hard to break that habit. Personally.
That's cool. So you maybe one time maybe you wanted to be like a singer in the NFT industry, but you say no, I won't be a singer. I will be like an artist in this industry. That's cool. So how like do you define pricing now for your NFTs? Because you always like had clients and there was like a different business model. How are you defining now the price?
My personal prices are, so I started by putting one on Rarible, I think for half an ETH, and it sat for 3 weeks, and I was like, is this overpriced? I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, what should I do? So I halved it to 2.5, I think, and then within 2 days, someone had collected it, and from that person collecting it, they sort of gave me ideas of what my work was worth. They put me into connection with other collectors who sort of backed up and reinforced what I should be charging. So I'm lucky where I'm at the point. Most of my work goes for over an ETH, and my highest sale at the moment has been 4 ETH. But it's been gradual, and I can't see it going down. I've managed to luckily find a spot where I'm comfortable, and I feel I have a really cool set of collectors. Everyone that's bought my art I've spoke with, and they're really cool, and they can see the longevity in me as an artist. And I think that's all you can want as an artist. And collectors, they want to see someone that's invested, and they're not here for the money. They're gone 5 minutes later. We're here for the long haul. I understand they're taking a punt on me and an investment, and it's my job to make sure that pays off for them.
That's good.
That's
So,
what I'm trying to
so,
do.
well, so you think that people that are buying your NFTs are like investing in your career? This is what you're saying.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, in me, but also they want to see a return on their investment. At the end of I don't think anyone's buying NFTs. Some are buying NFTs for the love of the art, of course, but you do that forever, you're going to be broke. Someone needs a return at the end of the day, and my plan is to become a blue chip artist within the next couple of years. I can't see a reason why not. I've got the trajectory, and as long as I carry on the path I'm going, that's my goal for me and my collectors.
That's great, man. So can you define it like blue chip for a community? What does it mean?
Well, I probably got the wrong meaning of it, but to me, it's one of the. You'll see a list of undeniable digital artists that are here and are here to stay, and I want to be one of these. I can't see a reason why that can't happen.
That's cool, man. So I'll be very happy to have you like your first interview here when you become like one of the best artists in the world. So because you say people buy your NFTs like some people for collecting, some people just to resell it. But in your opinion, what makes an NFT valuable? Not just talking about art NFTs.
Um, I feel like the space is still so new that a lot of people are finding their own definition of that. I mean, value to me, there's different ways. So we'll go back to the music industry. You were saying about some people buying NFTs and they come with maybe a studio visit or something. I mean, that's value to a fan. That's a positive. But I think it has to act as a store of value in a way that Bitcoin does. It shouldn't go down. If it does go down, it should bounce back. No one should be wasting money on NFTs unless they are just supporting the artist. That's fine. But a store of value, maybe a status symbol, like the CryptoPunks. I believe I'm not well informed, but I believe that probably started as a status symbol. But with the upcoming auction, that is going to skyrocket. The prices are only going to go up. So, yeah, status, love of the art. I think it's still hard to define, but at the end of the day, money makes the world go round, and they have to increase in value. Is my takeaway. I think if you look at it like if you're selling NFTs, no one owes you anything. Like none of these whales that are spending hundreds of thousands of ETH don't owe you anything. They don't have to buy your art. So you need to give people a reason to want to. And if that's by investing in your personality because they just like you or they think that you have potential to grow as an artist, I think that's what you need to do as an artist. But don't see NFTs as a way of just getting free money because that's not how the world works.
Yeah, that's not how that's also an advice for people that are joining this world or are joining this art in a sense. Don't just do it for
Yeah.
money because if no one knows you won't sell it. So first of all, you need to build a brand, and how do you build a brand? Over time, I think. No, what's like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
suggest for
But over
building a
time,
brand?
over time. Well, so yeah, building a brand, I think it's not going to happen easily, and if it does happen easily, it could fall just as easily. Like you have to have strong foundations for anything. So my take on building a brand, you've got to always look ahead. You've got to look ahead at the long term. Don't look at everything in the macro. So just be a good person. Like, if you're going to do business, do good business. Don't try and scam or cheapen everything. I think one bit of advice I would give about building a brand is separate yourself from everyone else. Don't compare yourself to other people, because what your opinion of other people isn't necessarily their own opinion or what other people think of them. Do you know, I've been asked before, and it's one of those things I can't really define. So if you go on YouTube and Google how to build a brand, all the gurus and all the tutorials, I don't necessarily agree with. So it's hard for me.
Me too, neither me too, man. I don't agree almost with
Yes,
anything. I just agree with Gary Vee and few of them.
yeah. I mean, I think everyone's path is different, and you have to do to a certain extent what feels good for you. But I think building a brand isn't easy. It's not going to happen overnight. So you're going to make mistakes, and you're gonna fuck up. But it's about carrying on, and if it's what you do with those mistakes and how you bounce back from it. Really, that's like as a person building a personal brand. But like, I've always hid behind my logo, the 8, which for the last 14 years I've used. As soon as I jumped on crypto Twitter, someone said, stop using that because people can't identify with it. So my whole ethos and my idea of a brand being faceless, I've realized has sort of hindered me. So don't take my advice.
But anyway, you build a huge brand also without using your face. What's your target in your art usually?
Right now, I'm like the happiest I've been in so long. I can't even remember really just the freedom that I'm allowed to have at the moment through creating art and selling as NFTs. It's like, I just want to capture this feeling and carry on. The long term for me, I just want to create every day and be able to sell it and connect with people and be happy really. Like, luckily I'm in a position where financially I'm stable for the immediate short term, medium term. So I can invest some time in me, which I haven't been able to do for a very long time. But for my whole life, actually, I've not really been able to have a day off. I left home quite early, sort of set up in the world on my own. So this is the first time I've been able to just focus on what I want to do. And NFTs have just really given me, I don't want to sound gay for NFTs, like I'm loving NFTs. I love what I'm able to do right now in this moment. So just carry on the path I'm going, create some dope art, and hopefully get people to collect it. That's my plan.
Okay, so no specific plan, just keep creating and keep creating.
Yeah.
So how do you think that is also changing your relationship as an artist and your audience in the NFTs world? And if is it like important for you?
Yeah, no, I think you've got to pay attention to your audience, because otherwise you're just going to create stuff that no one's engaging with. So with my character EVOL at the moment, he's evolving every day. I'm getting new ideas and collectors and fans. Like, he's even got fans at this point, which is unbelievable to me. But people are giving me ideas and they're telling me what they want to see next, which I think is really interesting. Like, I was speaking to someone, a collector of mine, about the future of EVOL and like where we think he can go. And it's sort of like, you know how Shepard Fairey had the Obey image. It was like everywhere, and then it grew into something else. I think this is something I want to do with EVOL without going the commercial route. I'm not trying to pimp him out as something we can just make money off, but I do think it would be interesting to have this character that's living within the crypto landscape, that can sort of comment as things are going on and make parodies, but also comment on just the day-to-day stuff, because I don't think there's anyone doing that at the moment. There are people that have got their own characters and creating art, but I don't think there's anyone really making much of a social commentary. And I think that's something I want to do with EVOL.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know why, but I'm like also envisioning like a cartoon with EVOL. Have you ever think about that?
Yeah, so someone has said about that. What I want to do, well, I had a concept of doing it, but I've been told it's a terrible idea. I wanted to just do him as like a children's book, like a story for kids.
Oh,
but like with an undercurrent tone for adults. So the parents reading it will get jokes that the kids aren't necessarily getting. I'd like to do that, but like sort of release each page as an NFT, and then when it's done, maybe release the whole book. But I've got so many ideas with this character, and I'm like really enjoying playing around with it. So I'm just excited to see what can
Wow.
come.
Wow. And do you think that your evil character will just remain like in the music industry, or do you think that in your future you want to open like to other industry, for example, fashion or others? I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm trying to keep him away from the music industry. I've had a couple of artists
Oh
want
yeah?
me to use EVOL. Yeah, they want me to. I've had a couple of artists want me to use him for their NFTs, and I'm not. I'm not trying to pimp him out. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds bad, but it's like he's one of my kids at the moment. I only want the best for him. So yeah, I'd be up for fashion. I think that'd be cool. But that's the thing with this character. I think if you get it, he can go anywhere. There's nowhere he really can't go because he doesn't take himself too seriously, but at the same time, he can be taken seriously, which I think is hard for a person to do. So, like, sort of having him as my avatar in a way, it's quite cool.
That's cool, man. That's very cool. And so, when are you going to drop your next NFTs? This week?
I'm working on something at the moment, an animation, which is of EVOL. I'm not sure where I want to drop it or if I am going to drop it. The market seems to be a bit bearish at the moment. I don't want to put him out there and have him sitting in the open while people aren't really spending money on NFTs. So I'm in no rush with it. I see the longevity. Potentially this week, maybe next. But I'm not sure on the platform either because I'm not anti-foundation, but I just feel like foundation as a platform is a bit oversaturated at the moment, and it's really hard to be discovered by new collectors.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just keep like shilling my work to people that have already bought stuff. So potentially known origin. We'll see. I might get the email from Super Rare today. You never know. Positive energy.
Yeah, yeah, positive energy. So it's not easy to find new collectors, you say?
um, I think everyone has different experiences, really. There's obviously the big whale collectors that everybody sees on Twitter, but I think if you dedicate too much energy to trying to get them to notice you, you're missing out on people that see your vision and appreciate your art for what it is. So
Yeah.
I think all you can really do is just be visible within the crypto space, but not too visible, and also for the right reasons. I mean, when I came onto Twitter, so I used to be on Twitter in like 2009 for my mixtape and album stuff, and then
Yeah.
I came off it because I was finding it really toxic, and I was having really bad interactions. So I deleted that account at like 20,000 followers, and I started again this February within a new space, new followers, new following base, and everything. And I found it hard, so I've not started a new social media account since my Instagram in 2009.
Yeah.
So starting from scratch was really quite hard, and I didn't know where I fit in and how to interact with people.
I think
So
Twitter is one of the social media that now is like booming with NFTs. All
yeah,
the people
so
I talk with, they say basically Twitter and Discord for NFTs. And also, if you like to want to spot like maybe new collectors in the sense that you want that your collectors really care about your art, I
yeah,
suggest you maybe also Discord because it's like a more close community, so you can interact like on one-on-one better with people.
yeah, definitely. That's what I was about to say. So yeah, Twitter is the space, but it's not. It's also I'm finding you've got to be your own voice, like while you're on Twitter, because there's a lot of positivity, which is great. But when there's nothing but positivity and no personality, everything just blends in. So I think
Yeah.
you've got to become a personality without being a dick, if that's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not your case, man, because
No, I have come across as a dick with some people. I think I've burnt bridges before.
just don't care about them. Care about all the others that say that you are a real artist. So, man, thank you for being here. I just want to ask you like a last question, maybe for people that are joining this space. What's your advice for an early one joining the NFT space? Imagine that
Um,
there is a kid, because you also talked about kid. What are you going to say like to a 10 years old that wants to like have a career like yours?
okay, I like that. So I would say the first thing you've got to do is just you've got to spend a couple of weeks just researching. You can't just jump in. I've done this on Photoshop. I'm going to mint this today. and make 100 ETH. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen like that. So
Yeah.
you've got to research the space, find out where you might potentially fit into that space, and also make sure your art is good enough and you're ready for that to be on the blockchain forever. Because unless you're going to burn the token or buy, let's say you sell a piece and then 10 years down the line you can't stand it, you've then got to buy that token back so you can burn it. So everything you do, you've got to see as permanent. So make sure that what you're creating, you believe in fully. And if you're expecting people to collect your work, you've got to be in a position where you would buy the art yourself. Just because you can mint something doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean that it's going to sell. You've got to think of the long term. And it's not free money. It's not easy. I think you've got to be on social media and you've got to interact with people just as much as you've got to create when you're starting out, and until you're like well known and you can just drop and then come off and not worry about it. You've got to be mindful of everything. So advice would be take your time, research, make good art, be original, and just like don't be a dick. Like that's probably the best one. Just don't be a dick.
Yes, these are the best one advice. Thank you, man. I appreciate it a lot that you came here today and speak about your story.
No, I hope I came across okay.
Great. See you soon, man.